Hey friends, welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Ben. Today I'm going to teach you 50 daily routine idioms that will transform your English. These are authentic expressions native speakers use every single day. These idioms are perfect for all levels from beginner to advanced because they're practical and will make you sound incredibly natural. I'll explain each one clearly and simply. Then I'll give you 2 real, life examples. Feel free to repeat after me for practice. All right, ready to speak like a native? Let's dive in. Let's kick off with our first idiom. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. This cheerful expression means to wake up and get out of bed, usually said to encourage someone to start their day. It's like saying, "Time to wake up and be happy." Here are 2 examples. My mom always says rise and shine at 6 a.m. My mom always says rise and shine at 6 a.m. Rise and shine, it's a beautiful morning. Rise and shine, it's a beautiful morning. Here's the next one. Hit the snooze button. Hit the snooze button. This means to press the button on your alarm clock to sleep a few more minutes. We've all done this? Here are 2 examples. I hit the snooze button 3 times this morning. I hit the snooze button 3 times this morning. Stop hitting the snooze button and get up. Stop hitting the snooze button and get up. Now for another morning idiom. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. This fun expression means to be alert, energetic, and ready to go. Like a happy squirrel. Here are 2 examples. She's always bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning. She's always bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning. I wish I could be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed before coffee. I wish I could be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed before coffee. All right, here's the next idiom. Get the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling. This means to start something or begin an activity. Once you start, things keep moving. So you could say, let's get the ball rolling on this project. Let's get the ball rolling on this project. Or, I need coffee to get the ball rolling. I need coffee to get the ball rolling. Here comes number 5. Not a morning person. Not a morning person. This describes someone who doesn't like mornings or isn't energetic early in the day. It's very common. Here are 2 examples. I'm definitely not a morning person. I'm definitely not a morning person. My roommate is not a morning person at all. My roommate is not a morning person at all. Great. Let's move to the next idiom. Burn the midnight oil. Burn the midnight oil. This means to stay up very late working or studying. In the old days, people used oil lamps, so you could say, I burned the midnight oil finishing my report. I burned the midnight oil finishing my report. Or, students often burn the midnight oil before exams. Students often burn the midnight oil before exams. Here comes number 7. Dead to the world. Dead to the world. This means to be in a very deep sleep, completely unaware of everything around you. For example, you could say, after the party, I was dead to the world. After the party, I was dead to the world. Or, the baby is dead to the world right now. The baby is dead to the world right now. Great. Let's look at the next idiom. Up at the crack of dawn. Up at the crack of dawn. This means to wake up very early, right when the sun starts to rise. It's poetic. For example, you could say, farmers are up at the crack of dawn. Farmers are up at the crack of dawn. Or, I was up at the crack of dawn to catch my flight. I was up at the crack of dawn to catch my flight. Now, here's the next one. Running on empty. Running on empty. This means you have no energy left, like a car with no gas. You're exhausted. So, for example, you could say, by Friday I'm running on empty. By Friday I'm running on empty. Or, she's been running on empty all week. She's been running on empty all week. Here is number 10. Full of beans. Full of beans. This means to have lots of energy and enthusiasm. It's a fun, positive expression. So, for example, you could say, the kids are full of beans today. The kids are full of beans today. Or, after my workout, I'm full of beans. After my workout, I'm full of beans. All right, let's keep going. Now we're moving through the day. The first one is race against the clock. Race against the clock. This means you're trying to finish something before time runs out. You're in a hurry, for example. You could say, we're racing against the clock to meet the deadline. We're racing against the clock to meet the deadline. Or, I raced against the clock to catch my train. I raced against the clock to catch my train. Okay, here is number 12. In the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye. This means something happens very quickly, almost instantly. Time flies, for example. You could say, the weekend passed in the blink of an eye. The weekend passed in the blink of an eye. Or, kids grow up in the blink of an eye. Kids grow up in the blink of an eye. Okay, here is number 13. Kill time. Kill time. This means to do something to make time pass when you're waiting or bored. For example, you could say, I killed time by scrolling through my phone. I killed time by scrolling through my phone. Or, let's kill time at the coffee shop. Let's kill time at the coffee shop. Here is the next one. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. This classic saying means time seems to pass quickly when you're enjoying yourself. For example, you could say, we talked for hours. Time flies when you're having fun. We talked for hours. Time flies when you're having fun. Or simply, wow, it's already 5 p.m. Time flies. Wow, it's already 5 p.m. Time flies. Here is the next one. Behind the 8 ball. Behind the 8 ball. This means you're in a difficult position or running late with something. It comes from pool. So, for example, you could say, I'm behind the 8 ball with this assignment. I'm behind the 8 ball with this assignment. Or, missing that meeting put me behind the 8 ball. Missing that meeting put me behind the 8 ball. Okay. Now, let's talk about work and productivity idioms. Here is number 16. Nose to the grindstone. Nose to the grindstone. This means to work very hard and stay focused on your task. For example, you could say, I kept my nose to the grindstone all day. I kept my nose to the grindstone all day. Or, time to put your nose to the grindstone. Time to put your nose to the grindstone. Here is number 17. All in a day's work. All in a day's work. This means something is just a normal part of your job, nothing special. For example, you could say, solving problems. It's all in a day's work. Solving problems. It's all in a day's work. Or, dealing with difficult customers is all in a day's work. Dealing with difficult customers is all in a day's work. Let's move on to the next idiom, number 18. Burning the candle at both ends. Burning the candle at both ends. This means working too hard, staying up late and getting up early. You're exhausting yourself. For example, you could say, I've been burning the candle at both ends lately. I've been burning the candle at both ends lately. Or, you can't keep burning the candle at both ends. You can't keep burning the candle at both ends. Okay, here comes number 19. Call it a day. Call it a day. This means to stop working and go home. You're done for today. For example, you could say, it's 6 p.m. Let's call it a day. It's 6 p.m. Let's call it a day. Or, I'm tired. I'm calling it a day. I'm tired. I'm calling it a day. Okay? Now you can say it with me. I think we should call it a day. I think we should call it a day. Well done. So you're shadowing with me. Great. And this is the last one in this section. Number 20. Go the extra mile. Go the extra mile. This means to do more than what's expected of you. You put in extra effort. So you could say, she always goes the extra mile for her clients. She always goes the extra mile for her clients. Or, going the extra mile really pays off. Going the extra mile really pays off. Okay, now let's explore evening and relaxation idioms. And here is the next idiom. Put your feet up. Put your feet up. This means to relax and rest. Literally putting your feet up on something. For example, you could say, after work, I just want to put my feet up. After work, I just want to put my feet up. Or, put your feet up, you've earned it. Put your feet up, you've earned it. Here is the next one. Couch potato. Couch potato. This describes someone who spends a lot of time sitting and watching TV. Not very active. For example, you could say, I'm being a couch potato this weekend. I'm being a couch potato this weekend. Or, don't be such a couch potato. Don't be such a couch potato. Here is the next one. Night owl. Night owl. This describes someone who likes to stay up late at night. The opposite of an early bird. For example, you could say, I'm a total night owl. I'm a total night owl. Or, night owls struggle with morning meetings. Night owls struggle with morning meetings. Okay, here is the next one. Early bird. Early bird. This describes someone who wakes up early and likes mornings. For example, you could say, my dad is an early bird. My dad is an early bird. Or, the early bird catches the worm. The early bird catches the worm. Now you can repeat after me and shadow me. I'm an early bird, not a night owl. I'm an early bird, not a night owl. Well done. That's great. And here is the next idiom. Hit the hay. Hit the hay. This informal expression means to go to bed. In the old days, mattresses were filled with hay. For example, you could say, I'm exhausted. Time to hit the hay. I'm exhausted. Time to hit the hay. Or you could say, let's hit the hay early tonight. Let's hit the hay early tonight. Okay. Here is the next idiom. Sleep like a log. Sleep like a log. This means to sleep very deeply and soundly, not moving at all. For example, you could say, I slept like a log last night. I slept like a log last night. Or, after the hike, everyone slept like logs. After the hike, everyone slept like logs. Here is the next idiom. Toss and turn. Toss and turn. This means to move around a lot in bed, because you can't sleep. For example, you could say, I tossed and turned all night. I tossed and turned all night. Or, stress makes me toss and turn. Stress makes me toss and turn. Okay, here is the next idiom. Out like a light. Out like a light. This means to fall asleep very quickly. Like turning off a light switch. For example, you could say, as soon as my head hit the pillow, I was out like a light. As soon as my head hit the pillow, I was out like a light. Or, the baby was out like a light after her bath. The baby was out like a light after her bath. Now say it with me. I'll be out like a light tonight. I'll be out like a light tonight. Okay, great. Fantastic. And here is the next one. Catch some Z's. Catch some Z's. This fun expression means to get some sleep. The Z's represent snoring sounds. For example, you could say, I need to catch some Z's before the party. I need to catch some Z's before the party. Or, let me catch a few Z's first. Let me catch a few Z's first. Here is the next idiom. Beauty sleep. Beauty sleep. This means sleep that helps you look and feel better. Often said jokingly. For example, you could say, I need my beauty sleep. Or, time for some beauty sleep. Time for some beauty sleep. Okay, here is the next idiom. Under the weather. Under the weather. This means to feel sick or unwell. For example, you could say, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. Or, she's been under the weather all week. She's been under the weather all week. This means she's been feeling sick all week. Now repeat after me. I'm under the weather, so I'm staying home. I'm under the weather, so I'm staying home. Great. Well done. Here is the next one. Rain or shine. Rain or shine. This means no matter what the weather or circumstances are. For example, you could say, I exercise every morning, rain or shine. I exercise every morning, rain or shine. Or, the mail comes rain or shine. The mail comes rain or shine. Now you can repeat this one after me. I'll be there rain or shine. I'll be there rain or shine. Well done. Here is the next idiom. Break the ice. Break the ice. This means to make people feel more comfortable in a social situation. For example, you could say, let's play a game to break the ice. Let's play a game to break the ice. Or, his joke really broke the ice. His joke really broke the ice. Okay, let's keep it going. Here is the next one. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. This means something is very easy to do. For example, you could say, the test was a piece of cake. The test was a piece of cake. Or, learning this idiom is a piece of cake. Learning this idiom is a piece of cake. Here is the next idiom. Spill the beans. Spill the beans. This means to reveal a secret or tell someone information they shouldn't know yet. For example, you could say, don't spill the beans about the surprise party. Don't spill the beans about the surprise party. Or, she spilled the beans about their engagement. She spilled the beans about their engagement. Here is the next one. Cost an arm and a leg. Cost an arm and a leg. This means something is very expensive. For example, you could say, that new phone costs an arm and a leg. That new phone costs an arm and a leg. Or, college tuition costs an arm and a leg these days. College tuition costs an arm and a leg these days. Here is the next one. Once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. This means something happens very rarely. For example, I eat fast food once in a blue moon. I eat fast food once in a blue moon. Or, we see each other once in a blue moon. We see each other once in a blue moon. Here is the next one. The ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. This means it's your turn to take action or make a decision. From tennis? For example, you could say, I made my offer. Now the ball is in your court. I made my offer. Now the ball is in your court. Or, the ball is in your court now. The ball is in your court now. Here is the final one. Better late than never. Better late than never. This means it's better to do something late than not do it at all. For example, you could say, I finally started exercising better late than never. I finally started exercising better late than never. Or, he apologized after a week, better late than never. He apologized after a week. Better late than never. Okay, amazing work today. My friend, you've just learned 50 authentic daily routine idioms that native speakers use all the time. Thanks for learning with me. This is English Unleashed and I'm Ben. Keep practicing, keep growing, and keep speaking with confidence. See you next time.